were white most of the time. I was probably one of
The few.
one
Okay. Oh,
or
wow.
one of two, but at this point I was the only black person. I even have a picture and I'm just standing there looking crazy. But anyways, so we go to the school and they put me in a class that was very, very difficult, and I'm like, okay, why am I being put into this class? I said that to my supervisor and she was like, oh, you're strong, you can handle it.
Oh, oops. Okay.
And I was like,
That's interesting.
ooh.
Yeah,
So
that was crazy.
So just hearing that word is a little bit triggering for me. It's just it's a burden to be considered strong and to be considered as someone who does not need
But do
assistance.
you want to be strong or independent?
I want to be resilient. I want to be resilient, and I want to also have autonomy. I don't necessarily want to be like independent in a way where I do not seek help from others. Like, not only that, but I'm also married. Like, I welcome my husband's leadership as well. Like, and leadership, again, that's one of those other words that people hate. And I think because it has a negative connotation. When I think about leadership, I think about my husband leading by example. So if my husband, we have some of the same goals. So if my husband is working out, if I'm falling off, I see him working out, that's leading me to get back to where I want to be.
But leadership doesn't always have to just be in a relationship.
Right. No. But I'm saying, like, because we're kind of talking about leadership and those words are synonymous or whatever. But going back to being resilient, because I feel like I know I could get off topic a lot.
No, it's fine.
So, like, just speaking of like resilience, like, I think that it's so important to have that quality, not only as Black women, just as people as in general, right? Like, being able to bounce back from something. And I think that we all kind of got this quality from the way we was raised, from
Because that was a question I was gonna ask. Okay, because I know your father was present, Ty. Like, you had a relationship somewhat with your dad.
My father was in and out.
Your father was in and out. I lived with my dad. So thinking about submission and leadership and stuff like that. And my thought is, do you think it is something that you seek based on wanting to go away from what you learned? Like, for me, my father is an alpha man. He wears the pants in the house. And I think for me, watching my mom be submissive had been an issue for me.
Okay.
So for me, I'm like, and plus combine that with my other issue, my childhood trauma.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, what we not gonna do?
Right.
Like, we gonna be on the same page up in here. You ain't gonna be bossing me. I ain't anime. No, my dad wasn't hit my mom. Don't take that the wrong way.
But I get
folks.
what you're saying.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, that's how I felt. Like, nah, like, mm-mm.
And I think it was kind of the opposite for me because I didn't have an example. Like, I kind of made up my own. Like I said, when I turned 26 and I had that moment of realization of like who I am and what I want, I think that's when I really decided like what kind of relationship that I wanted to be in. So I think that it kind of, like, I kind of came up with my own thing, like what I like. And honestly, my husband did influence what I liked in some ways, because as we were working through our relationship, no. As we were working through our relationship, I'm like, I started to be like, my childhood trauma, I started to be more vocal about what I want. Like, all right, you do this, I don't like this. Like, I need this from you. Like, now I can set boundaries because I know who I am and I know what I want. So once that happened, I was better able to like help shape my relationship in the way that I wanted it to be. So like, I'm okay with being submissive because my husband is also submissive to me. Like, I'm okay with his leadership because he's doing the things that I want. Like, we have conversations about what we want from each other.
But like, so let's talk about, I don't want, like, we could go
we gonna go off
because leadership, leadership
it goes both ways.
But how far do you let someone lead you?
Well, I'm talking about things like how we want to live our lifestyle. Like, if we have a conversation like, oh, babe, I want to live, like, even when we became vegan, right? Like, he was like, oh, I think that we should become vegan. I'm like, all right, so let's see how this benefits us. I'm not gonna jump out into. I'm not gonna jump into a pool. I don't do that. I'm gonna tuck my little toe in there first.
Let's see what we
I want to see like
with.
so, and I'm a research minded person, so I want to see how this benefits me. I want to see how it benefits us, and then ultimately our family. So I'm not like submissive to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, fine, I like whatever you like, Prince Hakeem. That's not it. But I'm saying like when you develop a trust with somebody, and like I said, it goes both ways. There's things that I present that my husband is on board with, and there's some things that he's not on board with, and vice versa. So it's a give and take. So I feel like,
it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be a partnership.
It's a give and take. So like, I think that people hear those words and they think that it's one-sided. Like, I feel like in some ways I do lead my husband as well. Like, so it's not like, so it's definitely a give and take. So I don't want people to be like, to hear those words and be like, oh, this is some bullshit. Like, here she go with her 1950s ass mindset.
Nah, you not 1950s because you want to go to work. I would rather stay home. Yeah, so like, this is where we are different. I would rather stay home. I'll be a housewife. Like, please don't get it confused. I will stay home.
That's not your jam.
I'm a Libra. I need balance. I want to do both.
Period.
Here we go, this Libra. We'll talk about that later.
Let's get to the questions but I am about balance when it comes to certain things. So no, I don't want to stay home all day because I do want my own money. But at the same time, you can pay all the bills. But I'll make sure we still good. Do not get it twisted. We're still going to live perfectly fine. But yeah, no, be the man you're supposed to be.
Not the man you're supposed to be.
not you supposed to be. Okay, so what is something that you struggle with now as a parent with your child?
Oh gosh, I got older kids, and I think it's more of you can't tell them what to do all the time. You just gotta kind of guide them a little bit to show them the way. And my kids is just as stubborn as I am. You know, I used to think my daughter was a sweet one. No, she a savage. Ooh. Yeah, she really is. She really is. And she really is. Yeah, she really is. And Tyreek is just as bad. I feel bad for the world. I used to pray for a male version of me. Ooh, we got one. Lord have mercy. Right. He is definitely.
What about you? Your son is younger.
Oh yeah, I'm the only. Do you have any young kids?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. My youngest is 16.
Okay. Yeah. So my son is 8. I think that
that was an interesting age.
Something that I struggled with, I don't know if I still struggle with it right now, is because I was whooped when I was a kid.
Oh God,
like most of us were. So I was like, you know, traditional whoopings.
You did?
Whoopings in advance, all of that stuff. So I made up my mind that I didn't want to hit my son, and that was a struggle for me at first because it's my instinct. Like, my instinct is like, if you cutting up, like,
cut you up,
I'm gonna hit you, because that's how I was brought up. So like, having to rework my mind to not do that now is like,
I still think it's a balance.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't believe in the hitting on children, because I feel like my thought is this. I feel like we tell men don't hit women. Like, so this is a child. I feel that there's ways to discipline your children outside of hitting them. I never hit my daughter. Like, I'm not saying she was no angel by any means. There was a time where I thought that I was going to have to. Like, I yoked her up. But for me, probably just because I feel like I got whoopings enough for probably all the kids in my family.
Like, honestly, I just think that most kids that go through a lot of whoopings, like, they whooped us for logical shit, because don't get it twisted, we was bad as hell. But we didn't have a lot of adult supervision, so they didn't know a lot of shit that we did. But the shit that we actually got caught
for fighting.
which like big shit. Like, we got caught for doing big shit, and you got them right, they whooped our ass.
But what's a reason to whoop a kid? What's the reason? I got whooped for fighting. Like, you literally whooping me for doing the same thing you almost doing to me.
I got whooped for talking.
Well, we didn't get
like,
whooped.
See?
We didn't. Okay, well, is getting smacked in your mouth, is that a whooping?
That's not a whooping.
Okay, right, exactly. So no.
But I'm talking about, I got whooped with extension cords and stuff.
Yeah,
I got whoopings.
Yeah, they was crazy like that too. But at the same time, I felt like this was different shit that we did. So I'm trying to think, what did we get whooped for? Oh my gosh. The house. That was always something.
What, the house wasn't clean?
Yeah, getting fucked up. But it's 9 of us. And when I tell you that shit used to like a fucking tornado hit that bitch, that's exactly what it used to look like. I mean, it's 9 kids, yo. And the oldest is like 12.
But it's like, if this person that's supervising you came in and was like, clean up this house, y'all would have got up and cleaned?
Well, my grandmother, she would come in the house
y'all would have got up and cleaned. Like, to me,
sometimes
whooping is like, I can't get you to do what I want you to do. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like that's passed down from slavery. That's how I feel. It is,
yeah. I feel
so
like
I don't like it. Because I feel like I can't get you to listen to me and do what I'm telling you to do, so I'm going to beat you until you do it.
But I know for me with my kids, for example, when my daughter got caught stealing, you goddamn right I whooped her ass. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I'm not laughing, but I'm laughing because you just got real black mom.
No, because that was dead ass serious. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you stealing? Because she stole $20 from a babysitter. You going in people's wallets and stealing $20? What the fuck is wrong with you? So now she is 20 years old. I bet you she don't believe in stealing. Come on. Little balance.
I don't know. I feel like I just have conversations with my son, and I feel like it's effective to me. Yeah. So far he's 8, so you know.
He's gonna get to the point where he tests you. Yeah. And you're gonna see how it go. For me, I've got tested, of course. Like we just had a thing the other day, me and my daughter, where like I literally was like, I had to think like, oh shoot, my daughter about to be 20, like. It's not the same, but we had a conversation. Okay. Like I will always have a conversation with her, and I was like, listen, this, and this, because she felt like I embarrassed her, because I raised my voice at her. She felt I embarrassed her, and I said, well, how do you think I feel if you talking back to me? Crazy. That's embarrassing to me too. Right. So you got to think about how I feel. Like, so I talked to her.
Well, at this age, you can't, because I just had this conversation with my kids recently about the beating thing with them. Like, they're 16 and 19.
Yeah, like
I personally believe.
Your son bigger than you know?
You ain't seen when the last time you see him?
I was down there a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right. Yep, he had a little growth spurt.
He hit a growth spurt because he's 16 now.
He hasn't went to the 3-year-old growth spurt. Remember, he just turned 16 in October, but he is 6 feet already.
What?
Yeah, Tyreek is 6 feet.
Holy cow! Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a big boy. Yeah. But we just had this conversation. I feel like probably after, depending on how you raise your kids, because I know for me, my kids is not perfect. But at the same time, I was able to raise them a certain way to where they knew what was expected of them. And to me, it grows in stages as far as the ages that they are. So. Yeah, I don't think I had to beat my kids since they was like little.
And
like,
you also too though. I think there is also a dynamic of being a single mom. You've been a single mom with both your children. It's essentially most of their life, not all of their life. Yeah, because you were with their dad for a little while.
Yeah,
and then you had a relationship, but like you've been kind of. You would say.
Well. I don't know. It's a mixture. I think it's evened out a little bit. Because remember, me and A was together, almost 10 years? Like,
wow. Okay, it was that long?
Yeah. Okay. It was like 9.5 years, if you really think about it.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't realize it was that long.
Right. I said the same thing.
Woo.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
But, he played a big part to where I think with them, they understand what partnership is. That part. But because we did break up at the ages that they were, I still feel like they missed out on the important part of it. But I think Tyreek got right as far as a kid. That boy is savage, though. Oh, my God. He is. Like, oh, my gosh. Like, I just shake my head sometimes. I be looking at him like, yo, you ever buck at me, I promise y'all, like, don't play with me.
You're going to have to lay him down?
Nah, I don't fight no more. I'm too old for that.
Like, even what you said, like, with your ex being there for 10 years, like, that's so important. Like, having that balance,
having somebody there.
Yes, like I say that all the time. Like, I have the luxury of being a nurturing mother. Like, I have the patience. Like I have the luxury of having patience with my son because it's not just me raising him. Like, he has his biological dad, and then he has my husband, right, who's his bonus dad. So like, so like, I feel like I have the luxury of being like snuggle mom and patient mom, and like, like, talk to you. Yeah, like, talk to you, mom. Like, like, I have time, like, because it's not just me doing everything.
There's definitely a difference when you do have somebody there and help, because I had stages. I had stages like till my daughter was 10, her father and I were together, and then we broke up, and then I was on my own for probably like 3-4 years, 3 years, okay. 3-4 years, but that was rough for me. And then when I got in my last relationship and we were all living together, that's why I had a breakdown. I literally had a breakdown. I'll never forget it, where I was standing in the house and everything. because my daughter did something. I was talking to her father, and he was basically like, no, she's on punishment. Mind you, he lives like 300 miles away or whatever. Right. How many ever miles it is from here? 150. 3-hour drive from here. And I was like, I just started crying because I'm like, I'm tired of having to be the one to put down the discipline I want to just lay out with my daughter and hug on my daughter and talk to my daughter and laugh with her and be her friend. Like, why do I have to be the bad guy all the time? I'm tired of being a bad guy.
Well,
and then he comes in town and he's the good guy.
This is why you gotta talk to my kids, because my kids will tell you I'm silly as hell. Like, I'm a big ass kid too. Sometimes they don't know when to take me serious. I will say that because we laugh about that all the time. But when it's really, really serious, I can really balance and do both because I had no choice but to. Yeah. So I think with them, they've learned to understand where I'm not coming at you on some do what you're supposed, like it's more like this is really for the betterment of you.
Yeah, let me level
with you. I think I struggled because I was used to having him there for those 10 years. And then I was like, oh, okay.
That's a culture shock.
So now I guess
it is.
I didn't grow up in a single parent home.
No.
So I didn't even know what that looked like. So now I'm like, okay, like here goes, I guess, this strong black woman that's kick in now. It's not what I'm even used to seeing or doing. Like my grandmother was married. Like most people in my family are in relationships. Like that's what I grew up around. We do have single people. I don't want to say there's not any single people.
But I get what you mean.
But I grew up around a lot of marriage. So to me, to be single, I'm like, what?
I think that's why I married that nigga, because I just did not want to be single, like everybody in my family. Like, to be so honest.
You're trying to break a generational
Yeah, I really was, but I still end up fucking divorced, so it doesn't matter. So it's like, you know what I mean? And even now, with me being single, it's crazy. Well, no, I shouldn't have said that. Well, anyway,
because you not single, or
yes, I'm fucking single.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Get the fuck out of here. But I just want to tell everybody. I just didn't want to tell everybody, like, you know, I am
everybody in my
shit. Like,
I do want to play a game. I want to play a game because we've been kicking it, talking it. We going on like 45 minutes. I want to play a game that like put a finger down, like Black Household Edition. Okay. Let me make sure we hooked up properly. I think that'll be fun.
All right, y'all. We doing Black Mama sayings. If you black, growing up black, and you heard any of these, put a finger down. So put your hands up. Let's see. Put a finger down if you heard I'm not one of your little friends. Put a finger down if you heard I am not Boo Boo the fool. Put a finger down if you heard a hard head makes a soft behind. Put a finger down if you heard, do you got McDonald's money?
Oh.
Period.
Put a finger down if you heard, stop all that crying, because I'll give you something to cry about.
Always want to get
Put a finger down if you heard, I hope you know that schoolwork like you know them songs you be singing. Put a finger down if you heard, fix your face. Put a finger down if you heard, when we get in this store, don't ask or touch nothing. Put a finger down if you heard, stop running in and out my house. Put a finger down if you heard, you smell like outside.
That's a fact. We don't got no
I ain't got no more
fingers. Mama sayings. If you
have you repeated any of those things that have been said to you? Like,
hell yeah. All the time.
You smell outside is my line.
I like
that's
that
my jam.
That's the one. I feel like that's
my son is 16 and he plays football.
He really smell like outside. Outside.
Get your funky ass out my car and go shower.
Yeah, he smell like outside. Right?
I think I said don't touch nothing in the store.
I say that all the time.
Oh, I never said that.
But I haven't said like, do you got McDonald's money?
No, I never said that.
I do.
I don't think I've ever said, do you got McDonald's money?
I never did that one. Mm-hmm. No, McDonald's money?
No.
Wait, well, my daughter would probably have to answer.
Because I talk to my kids ignorant as hell. I do. It's okay. It's all love.
No, see,
like
I never had to really say you have McDonald's money because my daughter would be like, I want Red Lobster, shrimp, scampi. Like, yeah, I'm a bougie ass.
My son went Wendy's all the time. So.
Real talk, my son just likes McDonald's, and that's just always been his thing. That was actually one of the first things we heard him say when he could talk. Because his little ass didn't show us that he could talk until he said a full sentence. No, full sentence. Cat French fry, please.
Cat French fry, please.
At least he said please.
No, that's because we got tired of him bossing us around and telling us what to do. Ooh. Yeah. As a mute. Because he would just walk up to you.
And pointing at stuff.
Right. So my cousin.
Are we still gonna do bro what, or we gonna end it with the put a finger down?
No, we'll end it with the
put a finger down.
That's funny.
Yeah, we went long on this episode. Do you have how you want to close? Do you have anything you want to say in closing? No. Beat your children. What do you have to say?
She said, no, life is about balance. Fuck them up. Talk to them, too. Why you fucking them up?
Ooh. And you don't have to be a strong black woman. You can be vulnerable.
You can.
Closing
That's
points.
fake, actually, that strong black shit, so it's all right.
Closing points.
What about
be resilient.
I like that. I like be resilient.
No, I like that.
Go to therapy. Work through your childhood traumas.
Oh, good for you.
Nice. I sure did. I'm still in therapy.
Good.
I love that. Know who you are and what you bring to the world.
Figure out when you're an adult, because I haven't yet.
Yes, for sure.
I'm living my second childhood.
It's our chance to do what we want to do. Our kids is grown. Come on, we was parents. Well, sorry. But.
That's fine.
Yeah, you're just starting out. Yeah, we done.
That's fine.
We're done now.
And I'm trying to have some more, so.
Oh, gosh.
Beat me up, steady.
I mean.
She said, oh, God.
It's okay, because you don't have
because
one.
we are where we are. So our kids, your son is almost...
an adult.
Yes.
Our daughters are adults.
Yes.
Young adults. We won't call them adults. Young adults.
Don't she get on your nerves more now than she did when she was younger?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because I could see so much of me. Because I'm looking at me. So it's like, oh God.
No, my daughter she different. No, my baby different. And I like that. I ain't go front. Neither one of my kids act like me, talk like me. My son thinks like me, so that's why I feel bad for the world. Like, oh my gosh, she's so, oh Jesus. But I could say they're different kids. But yeah, I don't like that borderline where she wants to be a kid. I see that with
they want to be kids. But I think that's normal.
Okay.
I think
that means we raised them right?
Yes, I think that is normal. I think a lot of times in our community, we think you're 18, you're an adult.
That's not fair.
And it's not fair. So I do understand being 18, 19, 20, 21, still trying to figure it out, because I think those are the years you should be given that luxury to still have your mom or your dad help you out, coddle you, help you figure it out, so you don't have to fall the way that we had to fall. Because I'm sure the three of us had to do a lot of falling
before we got it right.
My issue wasn't that my parents wouldn't have helped me. I just don't ask for help. That's my problem. I don't like to ask for help. I'd be like, I'll figure it out. Don't even worry about it. Because I feel like nobody can do it like how I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to just figure it out.
I have no choice but to figure it out. So.
Yeah. So you didn't have a choice. I could have asked, but I just didn't. Yeah. But I just feel like if I can help my daughter, I've let her know that
I'm there.
True story, yeah. And I want both of them to understand that. I tell them all the time, like, ain't no getting an apartment when you turn 19.
Yeah,
20.
chill.
Like, why do you want an apartment? Get your credit.
I told my daughter she could live there forever.
Aww.
I basically told my kids the same thing, but don't, your mom gonna be lit, so don't be mad if I got another crib on the low and y'all don't know the address, it's
mama time.
Right.
You got anything else you want to say?
No, I don't have anything else that I want to say.
Well, make sure y'all follow us on Instagram as saying
_
whatever we
_
want to say. And make sure y'all like and subscribe to Only Way Out Podcast. Until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah.